Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you into South Georgia Motorsports Park here in Adel, Georgia for the Southeast Gassers 2025 season opener right here at a beautiful racing facility here, bringing you in through YouTube and Facebook through the Southeast Gasser live page. Want to make sure you guys are all welcomed in and join the conversation as you take in Friday night testing here from South Georgia Motorsports Park, as John Liddich going to be the first car to fire up right here. He is a SEGA car, first-year racer with us. This car just about to make its first pass down the racetrack. So John going to roll it through the water box here and get those Mickey Thompsons good and hot right there in that 57 Chevy of his. Car in SEGA trim, so that car has to weigh 10 pounds per cubic inch of displacement that it claims. Liddich going to go down the quick time performance left lane here at South Georgia Motorsports Park, making the first pass, as we said, of the evening. And we're proud to bring it to you in this live stream. They're testing tonight out here at South Georgia Motorsports Park, and we are testing this live stream as well. So bear with us as we get things going here for you. Great racing facility right here. Wonderful job by these guys getting it ready for our racers tonight as the first car gets ready to go down the racetrack. As to be expected right there, John having a little bit of a learning curve there into starting line. A lot of wheel spin right there, kind of going through the clutch a little bit. He gets it down the racetrack safely and gets some information so he can go back and tune on his car and maybe make another pass this evening. Want to remind our drivers here on the facility that the track is now open. Time to get those cars to the staging lanes and work on the things that you've been putting into place this winter for all our fans to see. This 2025 season is destined to be a good one as we are trying to reach more fans and reach you here with this live stream, and hopefully you're getting what you want out of it. Give us some feedback, jump in the live stream and chat with us. Let us know where you're watching from this evening. You can also do that on Facebook, in our Facebook live page. Let us know where you're listening from. We'd love to know. Love to communicate and interact with you through there. All right, Sevierville, Tennessee coming up next in the left-hand lane. That's none other than Bryant Dalton Sr. He's in that 63 Ford Falcon Ventura over there. RC Performance and Dixie Mold and Die on the side of the Dalton gang. Once again in that Quick Time Performance left lane. Now this is a super stock racer right here. So Bryant Dalton finished within the top 5 last year in our points championship. And he's going to make his debut run here in 2025. Robin Harris, one of our longtime backup girls, going to help him out front. Mike Bully Wiles behind the car right there, making sure that the Tennessee racer comes back right in his tracks that he laid down for maximum grip. Now these cars have to run, our super stock category, have to run on a 7-inch spec tire. That is a great equalizer in this category. As you know, some people choose the small cubic inch light car, small car. Some people would choose a large car with a big horsepower, big block in it, but they all have to run that spec tire of 7 inches and make it adhere to the racetrack and get down there from A to B. A lot of spinning down low right there, and that's probably one of the reasons you don't see a lot of cars sitting in the lanes right now. You see Leslie Horn, A-Gas world champion down there looking at this track. He's trying to figure out where he wants to be. Tom White, Rocky Platt down there, as well as Mike Bully Wiles checking out the traction that was lost right there on the starting line by Bryant Dalton Sr. Few more cars get down this racetrack, build some heat in it. That's what we need, guys. We need you to put those cars around here, and let's put some cars down the racing surface so you can get a better, truer feel of what kind of changes you made in the offseason that's either going to help you or hurt you here in 2025 at South Georgia Motorsports Park. Man climbing in his car next, that's going to be none other than Randy Kiefer out of Cookeville, Tennessee, in his 1956 Pontiac Chieftain wagon. Interesting car right there. He finished second in our super stock points last year as he's getting strapped into that big Pontiac Chieftain. He put that car, what he calls, on a diet over the winter of 24, cut a lot of weight out of it, and has now put it in SEGA trim. So had a 406 cubic inch Butler motor in it last year. Don't know what he's put in there this year, but we'll find out for you here through the course of the day, and tomorrow we'll have a good handle on what kind of motor he's got underneath the hood. He calls his car the Spine Tingler. Definitely a good-looking car, and when we're out here racing at night and the headlights come on, he's even got a working light right there on the hood of that Pontiac Chieftain emblem. Guys, as you come around, we're going to make an attempt. We've done this many times before. Hasn't always been successful, but with some cooperation on your part, it really would help our fans at home watching over the live stream here tonight from South Georgia Motorsports Park. If you got a SEGA car, go down the track beside another SEGA car. If you got a super stock car, it'd be great to see that super stock car run heads up with another super stock car. That's what we're all about here in the Southeast Gassers. Is heads up, first to the finish line will be the winner tomorrow. And it'd be nice to see how you match up here tonight as well. Interesting, we've got a lot more people on the starting line than we normally have. They're all out there trying to look at the track and gauge what lane they want to go down and where they want to set their cars up. But Normally, we don't allow this many people out there on the starting line as it's a safety precaution. And here rolls the spine tingler of said Randy Kiefer. Still got Butler Performance on the side. You see those two big 4-barrels sticking up out of the hood. Man, getting those Mickey Thompsons good and smoky right there, getting them a lot of cleanliness on there so they can make the best surface-to-surface contact possible. Randy Kiefer with a great crew that he has helped him. Mickey Huddleston, who runs Superstock, also helps him with that crew. Right out front there from Cookeville, Tennessee. The spine tingler here about to make its maiden voyage in SEGA trim here in 2025. There's the first mistake. Kiefer rolls it in deep. He's going to probably back it up, let him reset the tree for him. And we can do that here in practice on a Thursday night. So Kiefer's going to roll back in, start up on the pre-stage again, and get ready to go. These guys all have a routine they like to go through. They don't like to be rushed. They like to work their routine so they can stay as consistent as possible. So Randy Kiefer putting down his first run of 2025 and a great little pass right there for SEGA. Next up, going to be Taylor Bright out of Charleston, South Carolina, in her Barracuda called the Heartbreaker. Car runs in super stock trim right here. Hodge Restorations on the side there. HP Racing engines. Her dad, Steve Bright, building this car for his daughter. Taylor having a little trouble getting that burnout to happen right there. She rolled through the box maybe a little too fast. They're going to try to get some more water down there so she can turn those Mickey Thompsons over. That special 7-inch spec tire that they run in right there. Beautiful car right there, the Lady Racer in super stock. Her dad, Steve, says, hey, let's come on up here to the line and let's get started. So Taylor will roll it up in there and get into the beams with her dad, Steve, helping out right there in the left lane. Steve, an accomplished SEGA racer himself, parked his car for a while now, and he's working with Taylor, his daughter, to bring her up to speed. All right, there's Ernie Smith out of Spartanburg, South Carolina in the Saturday night special, that 1966 Chevy 2 4-door. He's going to go down that quick time performance left lane. Robin Harris out there helping him out. So Ernie Smith right here, Spartanburg, South Carolina man, finished in the top 5 last year in our C-Gas points. Again, Rocky. While we got a second right here, just looking over our chat box, looks like we got some people in here from the UK, from the Gasser Circus over there. Thanks there to Delta Mike for coming in to us. Glad to have you listening in. Got some people from my favorite town right here, Hara, Georgia. Po' Boy Racing. We look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow here as well. Love the Hara, Georgia area because I'm a baseball guy, and they had a few guys by the name of Drew come out of Hara, Georgia, and Lowndes County High School. Pretty good baseball players. They gonna see us tomorrow. Our people that from Hara, Georgia, is gonna see us tomorrow. So let's put them in the lanes, guys, and we get these scoreboards fixed right here. The little technical issue we're going to get fixed and get you right back to it. But here at South Georgia Motorsports Park, they're glad to have us. They're working to make everything great for us, and we appreciate everything that they're doing for us. Speaking of what somebody does for us, Larice Motorsports Insurance, family run, and everything they do down there in Houma, Louisiana. They do a great job. They offer coverages for your race cars. They've been in business since 1939, and they are very passionate about racing. They race themselves. So if you're looking for on-track or off-track coverage, check out Larice Motorsports Insurance. That's L-A-R-I-S, motorsportsinsurance.com. All right, we're back to ready to go right here as we've got that little technical glitch fixed right here back on the live stream coming back to you. We've got some good-looking cars sitting in the lanes right now. I want to encourage the rest of our drivers, if you're wanting to get some hits in this evening, you need to get turned around. I see a couple of A-gas cars, a B-gas car, an AFX car, another B car back there. So we got some action ready to come to you right here. I know some of you are anxiously awaiting on the live stream, and again, bear with us as we continue to work and learn what we're trying to do here on this live stream, and we hope that it's bringing you a beautiful picture in the UK and in Roebuck and all these places that people are coming in. But I'd love to see you guys in the comment box on our YouTube page. Let us know where you're watching from. Got some people here from Georgia that's going to be coming in, Northeast Tennessee. Looking forward to seeing us at Knoxville. We'll be up there twice this year. Wonderful racing facility there. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe as this is going out all over our Facebook and our YouTube pages. Greensboro, North Carolina, Outer Banks of North Carolina, Walkertown. We're glad you guys are tuning in and loving Southeast Gassers. Ernie Smith walking back right there. That's a pretty good run right there in that Todd Hartel motor, blowing the dust out of it, getting it ready for 25. Saw him go down that left lane in that four-door 66 Chevy too. Ernie said he needs more sponsors, so that's why he got 4 doors, so he could put more sponsors on that car. That's what helps him get up and down, and a lot of these guys get up and down these interstates and make these races. And Ernie Smith's made 10 years of racing in a row with the Southeast Gassers. Coming up on a milestone year for him, as I know he's looking to add a championship to his resume. But first up, the next car down the track is going to be an AFX car. This is Todd Wimberly in the Southern Comfort out of the Atlanta, Georgia area. Good-looking Falcon right here. Todd putting it in the water box right there, the Southern Comfort. He's going to be in the Larice Motorsports insurance lane right here on the right side. Our AFX category a little bit different. The A means it's an A gas. The FX means it's a factory experimental car. These cars were experimental cars. You'll see some altered wheelbases on those. They do not meet the qualifications or standards of a gasser, and they stand in their own category. They predated the flip-top funny car, did these AFX cars. Wimberly grabs some bite out there in second gear and gets that methanol-powered car down the racetrack, injected, mechanical fuel injection for him. Next up, we got John McLaughlin out there. He's from Columbiana, Alabama in that 48 Willis, the Disorderly Conduct. Purchased this car in the offseason from Quayne Stott, who campaigned it as the Executioner 2 last year in A-gas trim. His wife Jody getting some help from Robin Harris out there to try to learn some backup girl duties for her husband John. This car's in B-gas trim. It has to weigh 8 pounds per cubic inch of displacement. $298 cubic inches under the hood here for John. Good safe run for his first pass down the racetrack. Look, granny shifting right there, but John will get it worked out with that G-force transmission. Next up, the man who finished runner-up last year in our A-gas category. As we said, the man who finished runner-up in our A-gas category last year. That's Ben Christopher right there in the Happy Days, the 1966 Chevy 2. He's out of Boiling Springs, South Carolina. Ben going with a new motor this year, a new engine, should I say, not a motor, but a engine. That is powered by a Jason Line power plant underneath the hood. 436 cubic inches under the hood there for Ben Christopher. Yeah, Ben Christopher with I wouldn't say his best run, but by elapsed time, that's a pretty darn good run. So there's a lot of room in that car right there for improvement. So Ben Christopher keeping it straight. Made some changes in the offseason, and it looks to be really powerful for him. All right, next up, Rodney Lash going to be in a B-gas car over there in the left-hand side on the QuickTime Performance lane. Rodney Lash out of Fisherman's Resort, Alabama, with a 406 cubic inch small block Chevy under the hood of that 55 Chevy. He calls it the little tantrum. Let's see if he can control that tantrum here with that straight axle and 4-speed transmission as he gets ready to attack South Georgia Motorsports Park for the first time in 2025. Rodney Lash taking it through there. Next up is the guy we all want to see what's going to happen right here. Holy cow, Barry Adler wanting to tear those Mickey Thompsons straight off of it coming out of the water box. Adler, a new racer right here, jumps straight to A-gas in the 1963 split window Corvette. Called the Iron Eagle, 451 cubic inch Gene Fulton big block Chevy power plant under the hood for him. Straight axle. I don't know if Adler's ever driven a straight axle before. He has raced before. He has run 4 speeds before, but he has jumped in here with both feet to A-gas, and he's been welcomed. They kept telling him the water's warm, so come on and jump in, buddy. Thomas Herron catching up with us from Chatsworth, Georgia. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania telling us thanks for the live stream. More people tuning in from the United Kingdom. All right, so Adler running it up on the limiter right there a couple of times, but he'll get used to it. You got to drive by the seat of your pants a lot of times because you don't have time to look at that tachometer for every shift. And there are no shift lights here in the Southeast Gassers. We allow no electronics on these cars. As next up, we got a B-gas racer right here, Jimmy Huff, out of Loganville, Georgia, in the Hoopty Coupe. So Jimmy Huff builds his own stuff. Everything you see is self-made by Jimmy Huff. A real Renaissance man, if you would. He's been the Sportsman of the Year already here in the Southeast Gassers. You won't find a finer guy around. He'll help you out with everything you need and then some until you go through that water box, and then he's definitely trying to beat you. Big Ford power plant underneath the Hoopty Coupe in the left lane. That quick time performance lane getting a lot of use over there. These guys are staying in the left lane. Only had a couple of cars go down the right lane in Todd Wimberly and Ben Christopher in that Larice Motorsports Insurance lane on the right-hand side. Next up is going to be Briley Stott out of Columbus, North Carolina. 17-year-old racer there in the Rambler. He's in the quick time performance lane. If that Stott name sounds familiar, he is the nephew of Quayne Stott, the founder of the Southeast Gassers. So naturally you'd know that Quayne Stott turns the wrenches on that car and works on it pretty well with Briley and his family there in their Columbus, North Carolina shop. The young gun there on the side of the car for Briley Stott. That might be one of the best 60-foot times I've seen so far today, A gas or not. So the track is definitely coming around in that left-hand lane. Need to get some more runs on this Larice Motorsports Insurance right-hand lane so we can build some more heat in it. Get some side-by-side action coming here next. Superstock racer Don Wilmot going to be next in his 1966 Mustang Coupe over in the quick time performance lane on the left side. Wilmot finishing in the top 5 of our Superstock category last year in our points championship. Kevin O'Neill, good to see you tuning in from Melbourne, Australia with us tonight. Now you guys are about 16 hours ahead of us, but we are glad to have you. DJ tuning in from Clovis, California, a West Coast guy, getting a little Southeast Gasser action here from South Georgia Motorsports Park. Folks, I see you over there in the concrete bleachers. Those are off limits tonight. So as you prepare to sit down in those bleachers, go ahead and stand back up. Come over to the other side, please, as you are not allowed to sit in the concrete bleachers tonight. They were roped off for a reason. We thank you for your cooperation. All right, C-Gas racer John Littich back around in his 57 Chevy to make another pass. He was the first car to go down the racetrack a little earlier this evening. Hopefully he learned something, as this is his first year racing with the Southeast Gassers. So he's about to make attempt number 2 here on Friday night test and tune at South Georgia Motorsports Park, brought to you by Harbin's Mechanical Services. John Littich being tough on that clutch in that car. That G-Force transmission holding on for dear life as he gets that car down the racetrack, and he'll move on. And we'll get ready for our defending world champion in 2024 to take his Superstock ride down the racetrack, and that is none other than Lacey Springs, Alabama racer Jerry. Oh, my mind just went blank. I'm so sorry. Hold on just a moment. My mind just went blank. I had a 50-year-old moment right there. Jerry Dean, Lacey Spring, Alabama. And that Chevy, too. He won 8 races last year in that car and was an absolute juggernaut in our Superstock category. Won our points championship very easily. Only 2 races he lost. He red lit one time to Randy Kiefer in that Spine Tingler. And then Kiefer got him at the races down at our Gulfport, Mississippi race, down there at that beautiful racing facility at Gulfport Dragway, in front of about 3,500 people. Karen Mitchell, crew chief for the Jerry Dean car, the last Rebel, out in front of that Superstock entry. He gets ready to go down the Larice Motorsports Insurance right-hand lane. Good hard leave right there, but unfortunately those 7-inch Mickey Thompsons did not stick to the racetrack, as that is specified in our super stock category. So Jerry Dean going to bring it back around and maybe try again later on this afternoon and this evening. Don't know what. But next up, that's Alfred Adams out of Clover, South Carolina, in that 55 Chevy with the Gene Fulton power underneath the hood for him. He calls that car the Damn It Bob. There's a whole story behind that. Don't have time to get into it. But if you tune in tomorrow at 1 o'clock for our qualifying and our race, we'll have a little more time to explain to you why that car is named that. Good pass right there out of the box right there, out off the trailer for Alfred Adams. All right, here's another AFX car. Once again, not a gasser, does not adhere to the gasser rules, but this car's driven by Robbie Walden, third-generation racer out of Atlanta, Georgia, the Doraville, Georgia area. If that Walden name sounds familiar, his grandfather, the famous Mr. 409, Lamar Walden. Bob Smith, glad to have you tuning in from Long Island, New York. We appreciate you guys watching from up there north of the border where the Maple Leafs are in Canada. Robbie Walden bringing that mechanically fuel-injected, methanol-burning beast back to the line. The Moonshot 2, it's called. He'll be over in the QuickTime Performance lane on the left-hand side. A-Gas Factory Experimental right here in the left lane. Robbie Walden drives it through the top end. 150 reaction time right there for him. So got a little work to do on the tree for Robbie Walden, but it's pretty tough when it comes down to putting it in the lanes and getting ready to go. And there's Barry Lynn out of Greer, South Carolina, in that 1965 Chevy Chevelle two-door wagon that he calls the Little Red Wagon. Scott Duggan's prepared par race engine underneath the hood right there. 477 cubic inches of A-gas trim for Barry Lynn. We call that the fastest grocery getter in the Southeast Gassers. Angela Lynn, his daughter, right out front, bringing her dad up to the line. A real family affair for the Lynn family. Barry Lynn with a wheel stand that won't quit. Up, he just takes out the 330. So we'll be down a moment to fix that. But, man, what a wheel stand by Barry Lynn. And that's more indicative of what you'll see tomorrow in race trim. Just unable to get it back before that 330 block as he knocked that out. So we will have to take a pause for the calls and fix that 330 block and get back to our Friday night testing. As we have a moment, let's see who's tuning in out here. Kevin O'Neill says it's 8:53 a.m. in Melbourne, Australia, but he's watching us on the live feed, and we appreciate that. Lots of people tuning in right here going, hey, this is some real drag racing because you guys use 3 pedals. Yes, we do. That is one of our main rules here in the Southeast Gassers. Got to be manually shifted 4 speeds. G-Force transmission is the transmission of choice out here for many of these cars. I'd say probably 90% of cars, or maybe even 95% of the cars you see out here, from super stock to AFX to A-Gas, going to be running one of those G-Force transmissions. And we have the best guy in the business with us. We feel like that's Roby Myrick. G-Force Racing South, you'll find them in North Carolina. We'll give you some more information about them a little bit later on. But Roby Myrick on grounds, I've seen this man take a transmission out between rounds, redo it, put some gears in it, and have it back in before the next round of racing and get that competitor what he needed. And that's the way it is here in the Southeast Gassers. Everybody helps everybody. We call it the Southeast Gasser family. I dubbed it that many years ago. And Quayne Stott was like, why'd you call it a family? It's kind of like we're a traveling circus. We just go around to these different racetracks, and a family tradition and a family reunion breaks out, because you might be racing the guy in the next round and he's crawling under your car helping you change a fifth member or a gear or whatever you may need, and he's going to be your buddy, help you out. But when you get to the water box, to the turnout box, he's there to cut your throat. He's there to beat you, because it is the first man to the finish line wins here with the Southeast Gassers. And we're glad everybody's tuning in from Rochester, New York, to Melbourne, Australia, to the United Kingdom here in Canada, as well as some people right here from Hayhira, Georgia, said they're going to come out and see us tomorrow. And we look forward for you to come by and shake our hand. And we'll take a little moment to be down and let the track personnel do what they do. And we'll be back to live stream and action in just a few moments. All right, fans here in attendance, we've got concession stands now open here at South Georgia Motorsports Park. Got everything you would expect in a concession stand: hot dogs, hamburgers, fries, everything to go with it. We also got a pizza wagon over here. So if you're looking, waiting on some pizza or wanting to try out some pizza, go over and check them out. They got a pizza wagon just to the left of the tower, if you're in my perspective here. So go in and patronize those people and let them know you're here and you care. Also, if you want to, you can go out by the Southeast Gasser Gear tent and pick up any of your Gasser gear. You can get your hats, T-shirts, stickers, anything officially licensed merchandise of the Southeast Gassers. You can find Stephen and Holly Smith over there. You can pick you up something tonight, wear it back to the racetrack tomorrow so you can support the Southeast Gassers. If you're not able to be here and you're watching on the live stream, you can check out their website, southeastgassergear.com, where you can make purchases online there. That is southeastgassergear.com. And there is the chick magnet. If you're watching live on the live stream, there's the chick magnet of Leslie Horn, our 2024 world champion in our A-gas category. And there you see the chick magnet, A-gas 1955 Chevy, and you see there on the back, it says, "My chick bad," and it is a bad piece of machinery. Gene Fulton, 477 cubic inch motor underneath the hood for him. That's propelled him to the current elapsed time record in the Southeast Gassers. That was set at our event last year at Gulfport Dragway down in Gulfport, Mississippi. With everything that's been going on over the wintertime, Horn expects to reset that elapsed time record, and there's others who are gunning for that as well, and one of those being Mr. Greg Stelz out of Wapaka, Wisconsin, in his 1957 Oldsmobile. He's found him a Gene Fulton power plant. He's been doing a lot of testing over the winter. Still hasn't punched his ticket for a race win yet, but I feel like that might be close here in 2025. And when he gets that, who knows what momentum may do for him as he moves forward. So we've got, let's see, we've got the Southern Sizzler. That's Brad Wimberly. That's a C-Gas car. I see a AFX car, a A-Gas car, a Kenneth Phillips right there, the Silver Streak 2. Then we got couple more A-gas cars. We got a 2023 world champion and Ted McKee sitting in the lanes. So we're getting a lot of cars built up right here. So when we go back to action here on the racetrack, you'll be in some nonstop mode. Racers, if you have not turned in a tech card here today, you need to bring your tech card to the tower at this time. You will not be allowed to make a pass if you do not have your tech card in the tower on file. This is mandatory. Tech cards to the tower immediately if you've not already turned them in to our tech team or to the tower. All right, guys, One amendment to that announcement, you cannot turn it into our tech guys. This is something for the racetrack. We are shut down until you get your tech cards into the tower. Don't give them to our tech staff. Bring them to the tower. This is for the racing facility. No cars will be allowed down the racetrack unless your tech card is on file here with the racetrack. I want to apologize to everybody listening out there on the live stream. I know you're expecting to see racing action right here, but being the first race of the year, we do have to have these tech cards in for South Georgia Motorsports Park. That is mandatory for them. And so we are down for just a few minutes till we get all these tech cards in hand, because the track is not going to let us take a car down for liability reasons until that tech card is in our hand. So as we have this moment, just reading over some of the things that some of our people are sending in here from New Jersey. Appreciate you watching from New Jersey. Rich, we need you at the tower, please. Rich, we need you at the tower. Drivers, you have to turn in your tech cards to the tower immediately, or we can't send any cars down the racetrack. So if you don't have your tech card turned in, you can't go down the racetrack. Please bring these here immediately so we can get this show going, and our fans on our live stream can continue to see the cars that they love, because we're getting some great response here. I mean, Eugene, Oregon, Joey Wiggins is watching us. You know, this is great. I mean, thank you guys for tuning in and telling me where you're from and telling me about your cars. I mean, we appreciate that. And we'd love to have you come out and visit us at one of our races. Check out our southeastgassers.com website, southeastgassersassociation.com website. You can find all the rules right there if you want to build a car. If you want to come out and watch us, the schedule's also there as well. So, and our next event will be at Shadyside Dragway back home in North Carolina, right there in Shelby. Going to be another one of those 2,500 to 3,000 fans in attendance, and probably have about 75 to 90 cars there. So if that's something that you're looking forward to, mark that on the calendar. That'll be April the 5th, and we'll be there at Shady Side Dragway. And hopefully we'll have another live stream up with good response and good help right here. We may be able to have another live stream up. You never can tell. But take advantage of it this weekend, as it's being provided here this weekend. Harbin's Mechanical Services helping us pay the bills to get that done. All right, if you do not have a tech card, drivers, if you do not have a tech card, go see Rocky Platt at the bottom of the steps, and he can get you one so you can fill it out, because you're not going across that line down there until you have a tech card on file. You can give it to the man before you go across that line as you fill it out before you go through staging. Once again, want to apologize to our great fans who are watching online as we have this break in the action. And once again, just bear with us. First race of the year, working with a new racetrack, and we're just trying to get everybody on the same page and appeased. But we're glad you're tuning in with us, and we're glad to see all the people in attendance here to check out Friday Night Test and Tune. And don't forget, there is a swap meet going on out here, and there'll be a swap meet going on again tomorrow. And we're looking for Brant from Washington, Indiana, and One Way Technologies. And, Brant, just get in the car and start driving now. What is it, about 17 hours? You can be here tomorrow, and you can go to the swap meet and tune on some of these One Way Technology motors that are here this weekend. We're glad you're tuning in, Brant. Always good to see you. Martin Lewis, you might want to check the Atlanta International Airport or the Charlotte International Airport if you're looking to come to a Southeast Gasser race. Charlotte, North Carolina, or Atlanta, Hartsville. You're asking about what airport, international airport, to come in to see us on. That'll probably be the two best ones for you, the Atlanta Hartsville Airport in Atlanta, Georgia, or the Charlotte Douglas International Airport in Charlotte, North Carolina. All right, we've got a former A-Gas World Champion, Kenneth Phillips, sitting right here in the LIVESTREAM Motorsports Insurance right-hand lane in his 1958 Corvette called the Silver Streak 2. He's out of Campobello, South Carolina. Kenneth has run nothing but A-Gas, and he's been with us at least 10 years. A good racer right here. Looking to see a representative good run out of an A-Gas car right here in 2025. He makes his first pass. A little bit of spin down low, but Kenneth all over that .016 reaction time right there. So he's getting tuned up for 2025 right there. A little bit of spin down low, but there's more in that race car for sure than the elapsed time he just put up there. And that probably was hurt by that spin off the starting line. Once again, guys, got to have those tech cards in and to the man before you're going to cross the line down there. All right, I'm taking a shot in the dark saying that's Roger Reynoldson because I don't have any info on this guy. So anybody on that crew right there or whatever car just went down the quick time performance left lane, bring me a bio on that man if you want me to talk about him. If not, he's not going to get much said about him. But I know a lot about this next guy. That's Brad Wimberly right there, brother of Todd Wimberly, in a car that looks almost the same, except it's a Ford Comet, not a Ford Falcon, and he runs it in SEGA trim. Brad Wimberly out of the Atlanta, Georgia area right there. He's going to be in a Southern Sizzler. Car engine is provided by Lamar Walden Race Engines right there out of that Doraville shop in Atlanta, Georgia. Brad finished in our top 5 last year in C-Gas, unable to make a couple of races as well. So a real good runner. Looking to see him put it in victory lane sometime here in 2025 as this C-Gas category is extremely competitive. He's going to go down to quick time performance lane on the left-hand side in that 62 Comet. A little more of what we like to see right there, and a wheels up leave right there, and we'll address that in the driver's meeting in the morning. That is Greg Stelz in the 1957 Pontiac right there in the LIVESTREAM Motorsports Insurance right-hand lane. That's 57 Pontiac Super Chief. He's out of Wapaka, Wisconsin. His wife Leah Stelz right out in front of the car, bringing her husband back. Gene Fulton, 477 cubic inch, big block underneath the hood for him. And we have well documented him in our SEGA Live, and if you haven't had a chance to tune into that, make sure you do that on our Facebook and our website. It comes up. We'll be doing one next week, early in the week, as a recap to this race. But Greg was on as a guest with us just last week, talking about a lot of the changes he's made and how he is in a real quest for the elapsed time record here in the Southeast Gassers. Tons of spin down low for that car, but what a good back end run right there from the 60 foot on. That was a good run for Greg Stelz right there out of Wapaka, Wisconsin. As we've got the 2023 World Champion Ken Rainwater coming up out of Kimberly, Alabama in that Renegade, the 66 Chevy 2 out of Kimberly, Alabama. Teddy McElwain right out in front of that car, bringing him up through the water box. Little help right there from One Way Technologies on some heads under the car they call the Renegade. Mechanical fuel injection. He's going to be in the quick time performance lane. I initially thought Ted McKee may make a pass and go side by side with the 23 and 24 world champions in B gas, but Ted going to think better of it and let him take a solo pass right here in that quick time lane. Ted, the 24 world champ, he's going to be in the Larice Motorsports lane on the right-hand side with his Gene Fulton power plant going right behind the Renegade of Rainwater. Rainwater gets the wheels up in the air, gets a little bit out of shape right there in his run, but he makes a good back half pass right there, and we'll see him probably turn it around and make another pass later on as we get ready for Ted McKee to go down the Larice Motorsports Insurance right-hand lane in his car called the Rocky Top Missile, another one of those 66 Chevy 2s. Gene Fulton power plant underneath the hood for him, G-force transmission behind that clutch. So looking at Jacob Watson right here, go to southeastgassersassociation.com where you can find all our rules and regulations for you to build a car or whatever you'd like to do. Ted McKee getting ready to get going right here. He makes a good pass down the racetrack. A little slow on the reaction time, but that's not a problem for him as he gets ready to tune that car in a little later on. Now we got an AFX car at the line. That's the Georgia Shaker 3 of Alan Platt, a replica of his father's car that he campaigned back in the gas wars of the 60s. This car's in AFX trim. Got a 427 FE in under the hood. Mechanically fuel injected on methanol. All right, Leslie Horn rolling through the water box in the Larice Motorsports Insurance lane. So defending world champion Leslie Horn in that 55 Chevy. It says "My Chick Bad" across the back right there. The Chick Magnet, 477 cubic inch Gene Fulton power plant underneath the hood for him. Robin Harris bringing back Leslie Horn to the attention of her husband Brian Harris, who does tuning on this chassis and this car, as well as many other cars he tunes the chassis on here in the Southeast Gasser. There's one thing in making horsepower, and there's another thing in getting the horsepower to the racetrack. And that, my friends, is what drag racing's all about. Getting that horsepower to the track and getting the maximum amount of grip as you try to navigate your way down this 660-foot concrete surface here at South Georgia Motorsports Park. horn into the pre-stage, getting ready here as he brings the RPMs up. Woo! Hard leave right there. Looked like he missed a shift. So he's going to get out of it and abort that run. But Leslie Horn with a hard leave right there. Doyle Lynn coming up next right here. Doyle in that 51 Henry J. He's out of Dalton, Georgia in that 1951 Henry J. He's got 412 cubic inches of big block Chevy underneath the hood. Beautiful race car. Doyle Lynn handcrafted this thing many hours on his own. Great reaction time, an 0:37 reaction time right there for Lynn as he campaigns it through the end of the 660-foot mark. Great little run for him. Having a good time out here in the Southeast Gassers, just wants to make sure he's competitive. Taylor Bright going to be in the quick time performance left lane over there in her Barracuda, a super stock car. Coming up next, called the Heartbreaker. A little better time right there. Taylor getting actually a little bit of a burnout in. She's still in a learning curve for herself, but doing a good job. Her and her dad working on some things right here at the racetrack. Is sometimes that's the only place you can work on it, because down in North Charleston, there's not a racetrack very close to them that they can get to and test. So a lot of times they're testing here on Friday night. Hodge Restoration's on the side right there, as well as HP Race Engines for Taylor Bright. All right, a car that really struggled last year to get the handling right was Alan Pittman here in this beautiful 41 Willis. Words just hardly can describe how beautiful this race car is. And folks, when you get an opportunity, get in the pits, look at this car owned by Mike Sward and built by Alan Pittman, who also is behind the wheel. Just a gorgeously engineered race car. They put a quality Gene Fulton 451 cubic inch big block in that thing. Plenty of horsepower, but as I said before, you got to get that horsepower to the ground. And in his first year with the Southeast Gassers, it was, I think Alan Pittman would say, it was a great challenge to him. And this is a guy that's won pro-modified world championships before, as he sits before you here in this 41 Willis. No one pulling for these guys more than the other A-gas cars out here, because this car gets right, it's going to be a contender. There's no doubt about it. And you got a guy behind the wheel, and that car has left so violently and turned left and right, and he's kept it off the wall. Didn't scratch the car a bit all year. That's a credit to his driving skills, because these cars, you never know what's going to happen when you dump the clutch. Once again, great driving job by Pittman as it gets a little skatey out there from the 330 on, but he does a great job wrangling it in and getting it to the finish line. So good job by him in the A-gas trim. Next up, 1967 Chevy Chevelle of Chase Howard, going to be in the Larice Motorsports Insurance right lane. Chase Howard out of Greer, South Carolina. 477 cubic inches of Gene Fulton power underneath the hood right here for him. Howard finished second in our, he finished third last year in our 2024 point series. Made it to the finals at our Killcare Dragway event in Xenia, Ohio, only to lose to Quayne Stott because he got out of shape, kissed the wall down there, had to put some wrinkles in that beautiful 67. His brother Trent Howard right out front, bringing him back to the attention of his father Tim Howard, who's behind the race car. One thing Howard is not is he's not scared, as they've been really tuning on this car over the winter break and looking for some big things and switching over to the Gene Fulton power. So we'll see how that works out here in his first pass of 2025 here today at South Georgia Motorsports Park. All right, so lots of spin right there as they look to adjust the clutch setup right there in that car and get back to testing here later on. Next up, Art Copeland out of Buford, Georgia, in his beautiful Barracuda named Ain't Done Yet. That car has a history to that name, as Art Copeland 2 years ago in 2023, took a big tumble in his 41 Studebaker that was called the Kryptonite up at our North Wilkesboro Dragway event. Really put Art on the shelf for the rest of the year, and then he bought this car from Ray Fossil because he said, I don't have time to build one. This is a quality build, and Ray Fossil, for some other reasons, was having to sell the car. So that Lamar Walden engine underneath the hood for Copeland takes him down to the racetrack in a good representative time for B Gas. Coming at you hot and heavy right now is Josh Pruitt in his patented burnout, as he likes to pat the gas as he is burning that car out and striking the hides on those Mickey Thompsons. 63 Ford Fairlane for him, the young gun out of Inman, South Carolina. Dwayne Bush race engine underneath the hood for him. He is a 11-time winner in our C-Gas category and a perennial top 5 finisher in our points category. Pruitt became a father last year for the first time. Kind of stopped him from racing a few events, and as it should. Beautiful son Tate at home, and may even have him down here at the racetrack this weekend in the motor home. But his Aunt Debbie Ison bringing him to the starting line underneath the watchful eye of his uncle Billy Ison, who's behind the car. That looked to be a planned soft leave right there for the young blood. So Ray Ballou going to be up next in A-gas trim, 6 pounds per cubic inches for him in that 1955 Ford that he campaigns. .466 cubic inches of big block Ford underneath the hood for the Calhoun, Georgia racer, Ray Ballou in the Bad Alibi. He's going to be over in the quick time performance lane, left-hand side. A little bit of housekeeping you need to take care of right here. We've got cars parked in racer parking, and you need to move your cars immediately. We have a white Mercedes GLE 350, Florida plates, Larry Bravo 369. That is Larry Bravo 369, Florida plate. You need to move that white Mercedes GLE 350. Also, we have a gray Honda Accord, Georgia plate, GA 3425. You need to move those cars. You are in racer parking and parked illegally. John McLaughlin back up here next in his B-gas car, the 1948 Willys called the Disorderly Conduct. John said 289 cubic inches is what he's claiming of one-way technology out there from Washington, Indiana. One-way technologies. John McLaughlin with his wife Jody out front, getting some help right there and learning the backup girl duties from Robin Harris, who is giving tutelage to all the new backup girls this year for 2025. Seeing a lot of new faces out here and some old faces, as John's been around for a while, helping out the Todd Oden crew, part of that Double X crew that comes out of Alabama. John's from Columbiana, Alabama. Going to make his second pass here in 2025. John's still getting a little seat time, filling that straight axle. And there's Ernie Smith again out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. Wings, etc. Boiling Springs on the side right there, as well as Woodfin Towing and Priority Heating and Air. I know he's got some new sponsors. Don Baskin's helping out on that car this year and some others. It's hard to keep up with Ernie Smith's sponsor list as it changes and keeps getting added to with the increased popularity of Ernie Smith. Looks like Smith, Wright, and Harris on the side. I'm guessing maybe that's attorney at law or something like that as he gets ready to go down the racetrack in Seagas trim. Ernie Smith with a hard move to the left, and he thinks better of it and aborts the run and saves some cones out there and saves his race car. So that's a veteran move by Ernie Smith, testing how hard he can leave the line right there and what that car is going to react like, because many times these races are won within the first 60 feet of the racetrack. A couple of H-gas cars up here next. New class that's going to be running for championship points this year. We've got a total of 6 cars registered here today in our H-gas category. And the first one you see right there is the 48 Anglia right there of Larry Noel out of Aiken, South Carolina. He's going to go down the track alongside the Studebaker of Todd Hines out of Knoxville, Tennessee. All right, Barry Lynn coming up next right here in the Little Red Wagon, going to make a second run. You remember Barry left hard and went to the left, took out the 330 cone here in the first time he went down the racetrack in 2025. Made some adjustments right here. He's looking to change all that in 8-gas trim that he runs. Folks, what a beautiful pass right there. That is a Brian Harris tuned race car right there. As you saw the wheels come up, it stayed straight. That's what Barry Lynn is used to, as he has Brian Harris tuning that race car chassis for him. And what a good run from Barry Lynn right there. Very solid. That'll put him in the top 5, top 6 in A-gas today or tomorrow when qualifying starts. So good for his confidence right there as he's moving forward. Jimmy Huff out of Loganville, Georgia in the Larice Motorsports Insurance right lane. His car he calls the Hoopty Coupe. It looks like Jimmy got some problems leaking out right there, maybe some fluid from the transmission or something of that nature. So unfortunate for Jimmy Huff. He'll get that fixed hopefully, and then he can get back to maybe making another pass tonight, or just go ahead and come tomorrow at 1 o'clock for our qualifying. And you can tune in to our qualifying on our live stream tomorrow at the same outlets that you're seeing it here today, YouTube and our Facebook page, the Southeast Gasser Association. Both of those going live and bringing you the action today. All right, AFX category on the left-hand lane right here in our QuickTime Performance left lane. That's going to be Rob Walden driving the Dixie Twister. If that looks a little funny to you, that is a 65 Chevy too, but it's an Aero Coupe. Only made about 5 of these, and it made one of them for Mr. Houston Platt out of the Atlanta, Georgia area. He is the father of Rocky Platt, our race director out here today. And that car was built by Kelvin Cannon as a tribute to the man himself, Houston Platt. Rocky Platt and his parents, his mother gave permission for that car to be recreated. And that's what you see before you right here in AFX trim. Methanol injected. Car has an altered wheelbase, but Rob Walden driving it now for Rocky Platt. Alan Lovelady got beat on the line badly, but drove back around him by the 60-foot mark. I have to tell you, folks, I kind of missed it on that one. That was a grudge race. They're going to do a best of three here tonight. That was Johnny Royals in the left lane. He's out of Griffin, Georgia, in the Fiddle Picker. I don't know. Well, no, that's not the Fiddle Picker. That was his other car. I forgot what he's calling this one. The Breeze is what he's calling this one. Johnny Royals, a musician out of Griffin, Georgia. He and Alan Lovelady in the underdog there, the 67 Camaro, going at each other. But this time, Alan Lovelady able to drive back around him after Johnny Royals put a tree job on him. All right, Bryant Dalton Sr. now over here in the Larice Motorsports Insurance right lane. Super stock car right here, the 63 Ford Falcon Futura. He's going to make his third pass of the night. Going down the right-hand side, his first time on the Larice Motorsports Insurance right-hand lane. Once again on that special spec tire, the 7-inch racing slick on the back right there. But that is a good run for Dalton right now. Next up, the 21-year-old racer out of Birmingham, Alabama. That's Michael Oden in his 1962 Chevy 2 that he calls the Double Down 2. One-way technologies underneath the hood right there, mechanically fuel-injected motor. Michael Oden was the winner of our Gulfport Dragway event just a few months ago before the end of the season. So Michael there in the QuickTime Performance left lane in his 62 Chevy 2 under the watchful eye of his cousin Joey Reed, who stands along the right rear tire right now. .084 reaction time right there for Michael Oden. That car goes hard toward the wall, but Oden never cracked the throttle, just corrected the car, straightened it back up in the groove, and made a nice representative run for a B-Gas right there. A B-Gas car that is one of the top cars out here with that one-way technologies horsepower. Next up, our Superstock World Champion from last year, Lacey Springs, Alabama driver Jerry Dean, coming to the attention of Karen Mitchell out front of his car in the Larice Motorsports Insurance right-hand lane. Rather soft leave right there for Jerry Dean right there in the last Rebel 2, but what a run at the end. SEGA racer moved up from Superstock last year. Randy Kiefer out of Cookeville, Tennessee finds himself in that 56 Spine Tingler Pontiac Chieftain over in the QuickTime Performance left lane. 406 cubic inches of Butler power underneath the hood for him as he brings that car to the line. I told you a little earlier they were going to put that car on a diet, but running the 406 cubic inches, he actually had to add weight for C-Gas. Heath Adams up next into Rusty the Rusty Bullet. Gene Fulton power underneath the hood for him. So Heath Adams going to go down the QuickTime Performance lane on the left-hand side right here with his car in C-gas trim. Adams got the wheels up in the first two gears. The car moved toward the center line, but he was able to correct it really nicely and make a good positive run for him right there. So Diana Casto takes it down the left lane right there in her first pass of the night. Next up, Brad Wimberly in the Southern Sizzler out of McDonough, Georgia right here. Wimberly, a C-gas racer himself in that 62 Comet. Lamar Walden race engine under the hood for him as he gets ready to go down to QuickTime Performance left lane. So Wimberly being brought back by Robin Harris back here to the attention of his brother Todd Wimberly, who sits behind there, making sure he's dead in his tracks to try for maximum traction here tonight at South Georgia Motorsports Park. Dalton, Georgia racer Doyle Lynn back around again to make another pass in his 51 Henry J. Called the honky tonk. So great looking race car right there. He's going to go down the same lane on the quick time performance side. I tell you what, nobody wants to face Doyle Lynn on the tree right now. He just cut a 13 and an 11 light. So Doyle Lynn is definitely on his P's and Q's, dropping that clutch. He had that thing up there about 9,500 when he dumped the clutch right there, and didn't equate to a lot of elapsed time for him, but the car made its best run that it's made here today. So 25 shaping up to be a year that Doyle Lynn trying to get back on the horse and make some positive strides. As next up, Mickey Huddleston coming up in his Biscayne in super stock trim, going to be in the left-hand lane. All right, looks like we got a little break right here. Nobody in the staging lane, so you guys get your adjustments made, get tuned in, and get them back up here, and we'll bring some more action to our people in the live stream. We got people watching from all over the world, literally, guys, and you guys and your cars are the stars of this show. We go from New Jersey to Melbourne, Australia, to Canada, and all over the United Kingdom, as well as our folks here in the States, in Nashville, Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee, Wisconsin, pulling for Greg's Speed Shop. So lots of good people out there listening and watching. We got almost 400 people watching right now just on YouTube alone. So we thank you all, and we'll get some cars back around here as they make some adjustments and cool them down, and we'll get back to showing you some on-track action in just a few moments. So a little more housekeeping right here to take care of, folks. I did announce this a little earlier, and if you've already taken care of this, we appreciate it. But there were a couple of cars in racer parking that needed to be moved. One was a white Mercedes GLE 350 with a Florida plate on it, LB Larry Boy 369. That car needs to be moved to a spectator spot, as well as a gray Honda Accord with a Georgia plate, GA 3425. Please move those cars if you haven't already, and if you have, we do thank you for that. So now we got a B-gas car coming up right here, and Briley Stott in our quick time performance left-hand side. That's a Rambler over there on that left lane. Briley Stott, 17 years old, out of Columbus, North Carolina, the nephew of Quayne Stott, and not the first nephew of Quayne Stott to ever race, or he might be a cousin, I can't remember exactly, but the Stott lineage continues on here with Briley Stott. Don't worry about the reaction time right there as Briley Stott takes it down the racetrack. Good run right there for Briley Stott. Good wheels up leave right there. The car didn't really vary. Saw Quayne Stott trying to tell him to stop, but hey, sometimes you can't stop it. Next up in the quick time performance lane, we find the 1957 Pontiac of Greg Stelz. Gene Fulton, 477 cubic inch engine underneath the hood right there for him. He's out of Waupaca, Wisconsin. And folks, if you don't know anything about Greg Stelz, let me give you a little bit on him. This guy is a custom car restorer, if you would, or a lot of times they're manufacturing the cars because they have to reshape them, redo them, and just a beautiful race shop up there in Waupaca, Wisconsin. Winner of many, many awards at some of the finest auto shows around. This man, he builds race cars, and his people build race cars and street cars and hot rods along the likes of Chip Foose, Troy Trepanier, and other guys like him. He's in that realm of builder. So Greg Stelz got involved in drag racing many years ago and wanted to come race with the Southeast Gassers, and makes the commitment to drive from Waupaca, Wisconsin for every race. Hasn't missed a race in 2 years, going on 3 here with 2025 getting started. Wow. Stelz moves to the wall really hard right there. The pin falls out of his right side as the hood was shaking a little bit on the right side, so they might want to look for a hood pin down there. Next up, the Lenoir City, Tennessee racer, Ted McKee, our 2024 world champion in B-Gas. Car he calls the Rocky Top Missile, and it is a missile. B-Gas car right here. Gene Fulton horsepower underneath the hood. Jimmy Hare behind the race car, trying to make sure he gets backed up in the beams that the tracks that he laid down for maximum grip right here as he gets ready to take another shot at this South Georgia Motorsports Park 660-foot concrete surface. So folks, if you're tuning in, make sure you hit that like button and share it. Get it out there on social media for us and help grow the Southeast Gassers. If you like to see this kind of content, it can be brought to you again. All right, C-Gas racer Josh Pruitt right here, the young blood out of Inman, South Carolina, in his 63 Ford Fairlane. He went down the Larice Motorsports Insurance lane the first time. Now he's going to go down the quick time performance lane to make sure he's got a pass on both lanes. Maybe having a little trouble getting that car in reverse. Don't know. His Aunt Debbie Ison going out there to the attention, and she is calling out the reinforcements. So don't know what that might be at this time. Don't want to speculate. Maybe just the car stalled or something of that nature. But Josh Pruitt looks like he's going to have to abort this run right here as they get ready to try to push that car back. And while we push that car back, I want to talk about our great sponsor this weekend, Harbin's Mechanical Services. They got a reputation as an industry leader in the metro Atlanta, Georgia area. They offer a full complement of customized HVAC and refrigeration service solutions to serve all of your facility's heating and cooling needs. They have expertise in installing and maintaining and repairing HVAC equipment for businesses of all sizes, whether you are a small office or a large cooling tower, a rooftop package unit, or a split system, even a specialized application for a large commercial system. They'll take great care of you with expert workmanship and top-of-the-line products and a superior service guarantee. Rest assured that over 2 decades, they've been representing the metro Atlanta business area, and they can help you with all that you have. Give them a shot and give them a call down there at Harbin's Mechanical Services at 770-910-7060, or you can email them at harbin@harbins.com. So it looks like something might have been wrong in the reverse, but he still can go straight. So it looks like they're going to try to make a run right here since the car was all warmed up and heated up. So just needed to get him back to the starting line for that Dwayne Bush race engine underneath the hood to make a pass down the Quick Time Performance left lane. Like he missed a shift right there, or something went wrong. So Josh Pruitt going to coast on off the end of the 660-foot racing surface and hit the return road. As now we see Michael Oden up here at the starting line looking at the 1958 Delray of the Double X, our 2024 SEGA World Champion. But before he goes down the racetrack, it looks like Alfred Adams in that 1955 Chevy, the Dammit Bob, is going to go down to Quick Time Performance lane. So Alfred Adams out of Clover, South Carolina, going to put that 55 Chevy down the Quick Time Performance lane. No, there's nothing wrong with the audio, just sometimes you have to take a little bit of a break. And Philip McCrankin, Mitch is not going to be back in the booth. I'm sorry to disappoint you there, so I'm all you got. So Channel 609, those A-gas cars are pushing some high horsepower. I'll try to find out what kind of horsepower numbers they got for you. So Alfred Adams taking it down the track. Pretty good run right there for Adams. As next up we see the Double X, the 1958 Delray Chevy right there in the Quick Time Performance lane. That car, to my knowledge, is being, Michael, you can give me a heads up. Is that Ken Rainwater in the car? Michael, is that Ken Rainwater in the car? Is that Rainwater in the car? Okay. So Ken Rainwater going to take the championship car from SEGA down the racetrack with the one-way technology under the hood. The reason Ken Rainwater's in that car is to Todd Oden had a little medical problem and took care of that today at the Birmingham Hospital. So Todd Oden will not be in attendance with us this weekend, but it looks like they may be running the Double X with Ken Rainwater behind the wheel, part of our Alabama crew, or the Alabama gang, I guess the Alabama gang 2. He can't take over the NASCAR guys of Bobby and Donnie Allison and Red Farmer, but we've got our own little gang of Alabama guys here, and Ken Rainwater and Todd Oden are the leaders of that. I tell you what, when they give Todd Oden the numbers right there that he just ran, he's going to be okay with that. It might make him feel a little better as he recuperates at home this weekend in Birmingham, Alabama. So we are glad everything went well with Todd Oden's procedure today. He's going to rest up, be ready, and hopefully he'll be ready to come in a few weeks up to Shady Side Dragway in Shelby, North Carolina for our second race of the year, so he can get back to defending his world championship that he so greatly won in 2024. All right, Heath Adams coming up next right here. So Heath Adams in the Rusty Bullet right here, the GEP contractor sponsorship car in the left lane. Car built by Alan Pittman of Alan Pittman or AP Race Cars. There you see Alan Pittman along the driver's side door helping out right there for Heath Adams as he comes to the attention of Robin Harris out front of the car in the Quick Time Performance left lane. And speaking of Quick Time Performance, while you're around here this weekend, make sure you visit their display that they got set up right here immediately behind the stands. Go by and check out their catalogs and see what they have that can help the exhaust system and performance of your race car or your car in everyday application. It's like Adams rolled through but wasn't quite ready for the tree, and we'll back it up and start again with him right here as it is just test and tune tonight, so that's not a problem for us. Really good run by Heath Adams right there. His elapsed time going to put him right up in the top 5 easily of SEGA. Unless some people make some huge horsepower gains over this break, but last year's numbers, that would be right up in the top 5. All right, Jaron Pardue next up right here in the Stud Muffin, the 62 Chevy 2 wagon. This car is a multiple time winner. We already won a couple of world championships in this car. Got a new ownership right here. As Jaron Pardue bought that car after the Adams County Outlaw he was campaigning. Kind of lost a motor, so he bought this car from Ricky Adams, who was down in the Alabama area, who decided to stop his racing for a while. So Purdue was able to get that car, and he's brought it back up to Peebles, Ohio, did a little tuning on it, did a little massaging on it, kept that Gene Fulton power plant in it. And he is one to be reckoned with here as he won a couple of races late last year, 3 total I think he won in our C-Gas category. Finished in the top 3, I think, of our point standing. Wow. That's a pass right there. Yeah, Quayne Stott deserves the credit for tuning on that one, and Jaron Purdue really drove that race car down the racetrack to a good number right there. As we got another SEGA car right behind him. That's going to be Brad Wimberly. Wimberly coming around for his third pass into Southern Sizzler. Lamar Walden race engine under the hood for him. So SEGA coming at you with 3 in a row right here. This is the third one. It looks like we got a couple of super stock cars coming right behind them. Robin Harris pulling, I don't know, I can't say double duty. She's like 10 times duty out there. She's definitely getting her running in early in the day, helping out all our drivers and getting them to the starting line. All right, I'm going to give this a shot here. Tony Navasti. He's going to have to tell me. He told me earlier in the day, and I forgot how to pronounce it. Tony Novosadsky. That's it. Tony Novosadsky is up next right here. I told him he needed to buy a vowel, but well, we all got a good laugh out of that. Tony Novosadsky here in his 56 Chevy in super stock trim is going to go down the quick time performance left lane. So getting his feet wet here in Southeast Gasser Superstock Racing is Tony Novosadsky, and I'm going to keep trying to say that so I can make sure I get it right. So if you're just tuning in to us on the live stream, let us know where you're from. Let us know what you like about the Southeast Gassers, and maybe who some of your favorite drivers are or favorite cars. And boy, Taylor Bright with a good burnout right there. She struggled in the first couple of times she made a pass today. This is her fourth one. First couple of times she was unable to really do a burnout. She's still learning. I got a learning curve there. You see her dad, Steve Bright, right out in front of the car. Her third run, she got those tires a little bit hotter, but man, this time she got those 7-inch spec Mickey Thompsons really hot. So she's ready to go. Good for Taylor right there. Real good run for her. Steve, you got to feel good with that solid pass that Taylor just pulled off, and I know she does too, as she is our resident super stock lady driver. And here comes the aforementioned Ken Rainwater, our 2023 world champion in B-Gas, in his car, the Renegade, out of Kimberly, Alabama. Mechanical fuel injection up on the top right there for him. I think everybody would agree, and so would Ken Rainwater, that 2024 was not his best year, but I had a chance to really see Ken Rainwater and his family, Teddy McElwain and his dad. They twisted on that car. They worked on that car. They just kept striving and striving and striving. And by the time they got to Gulfport, Mississippi, they had a car to contend with. And they keep making changes, and these guys are tireless workers, and they're not one to be held down. So I'm looking for that Renegade to really boost back up and get to the top of B-Gas again. that's a good run right there. Good elapsed time. Chief, I think you'll be happy with that one. That was a good one. A little bit of spin down low for Rainwater, but, you know, he grabbed second gear pretty quick and shifted it on down the racetrack, as we have nobody remaining in the lanes right now. So, guys, if you want to get some hits in, you better turn them around and come on, because time is waning on you. All right, so the question sent in by D. Loney V8 Motorsports. Yes, this is just a no time tonight. You will not see tomorrow when you tune in, you won't see elapsed times or mile per hour on the scoreboards. It was done that way because our inventor or our founder, Quayne Stott, he wanted it to be that way. Now, were they elapsed times and were they scoreboards in the 1960s and in the Gasser eras up to 67? Sure they were. They most certainly were. And the drivers do get a slip. We take the times. We seed the cars by their qualification numbers and bracket them accordingly. But as the fan sitting in the stands or here, you will not see that time. You will hear me talk about no times at all, no elapsed times, no mile per hour. You may hear me talk about a margin of victory or a reaction time or a 60-foot time. But we do not give out elapsed times or miles per hour in any testing and or race day either. So, great question. If you'd like to check on the rules and become more adept with the rules, check out Southeast Gasser Association.com and go under the rules. It tells you exactly all the rules that we have there, the specifications to build cars by, and you also can check out our 2025 schedule. And make sure you hit the like and the share. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook page. So anytime we go live, you can be notified and catch the action anytime that we are in the country racing. We have 10 events throughout the year, and 2025 is no exception, as this is our first race of the year here at South Georgia Motorsports Park. So, D. Loney, we're going to put up the schedule here for you, and maybe you can get out of that rainy Oregon weather out there on the Pacific Northwest, grab you a flight out here to the beautiful Southeast, and enjoy some of our humidity in the middle of summer, which is extremely oppressive, and it's extremely impressive to watch our racers navigate down greasy, slick, slimy racetracks with the horsepower they're trying to put to the ground. And hopefully that schedule will be up in just a moment. I'm not seeing it on my screen right now. There it is. Barn put it up for us. You can just click that link right there. There's our web page. I just had to refresh my page. So you see our schedule there. We're here this weekend at South Georgia Motorsports Park. And then on April the 5th, we'll be in Shelby, North Carolina at the Shady Side Dragway, one of our home races. And then we're going to travel to a new venue for us, Woodstock, Alabama, to Holiday Dragway on May the 3rd. That's going to be right around Cinco de Mayo. That's just right outside of Birmingham, Alabama. And we're going to be in Shelby, North Carolina at the Shady Side Dragway, one of our home races. And then we're going to travel to a new venue for us, Woodstock, Alabama, to Holiday Dragway on May the 3rd. That's going to be right around Cinco de Mayo. That's just right outside of Birmingham, Alabama. And So that's going to be a good race for us, we're hoping. Then in the month of June, we're going to be in Knoxville, Tennessee, in the beautiful Smoky Mountains, racing in the in between a couple of mountains up there and in a little valley. It's going to be beautiful there. And then at the end of June, on June the 28th, we go to Xenia, Ohio, Killcare Dragway. And we'll take the month of July off because, as I said before, it is extremely oppressive here in the Deep South with our humidity and temperatures. So give us a chance to also take some vacations with the family, spend some time with the family, and we'll pick it up again on August the 2nd in Ringgold, Georgia, followed by August the 23rd, we'll be in Jackson, Tennessee, just about an hour away from Memphis, Tennessee, at the Jackson Dragway. We'll go back to the beautiful Knoxville Dragway in September as the leaves change in beautiful Knoxville, Tennessee. And then what I love, I mean, the event that I think is a non-miss event. If you're looking to take a vacation, don't miss the October the 11th Gulfport, Mississippi race in conjunction with Cruising the Coast, the third largest car show in the United States of America. That is one that you'll want to book a whole week in advance to just stay here, see some beautifully created hot rods. I mean, right down at the coast of Gulfport, Mississippi. We had our greatest attendance ever there last year, about 3,500 people. And then we'll finish our season on November the 1st back at our home track in Shelby, North Carolina at Shadyside Dragway, and that'll conclude our 2025 season as we see Greg Stelz coming back around again. He'll be in the Larice Motorsports Insurance Lane here on the right-hand side. His wife, Leah Stelz, bringing back her husband in his 1958 Pontiac. Gene Fulton race engine underneath the hood for him. 477 cubic inches is the cubic inches of choice. So you multiply that times 6 pounds, and that's how much that race car has to weigh. So when it gets down the racetrack, know in our A-gas category, 6 pounds per cubic inch of displacement. So 477 times 6 will give you how much that car weighs. Randy Johnson, just to let you know, those numbers are lower than that in our A-gas category and our B-gas category. Oh, man. Tons of tire spin right there. Hopefully that did not mess up the yoke of that transmission or anything, but it looks like it's under power as Greg Stelz going to just limp it on down the racetrack and get it out of the way for Barry Lynn coming up next. Once again, Barry Lynn out of Greer, South Carolina. This is probably Barry's 4th pass of the day. Scott Duggan's Par race engine under the hood for him. Barry Lynn been with the Southeast Gassers practically since its inception back 10 years ago, and he's been campaigning this 65 Chevy Chevelle wagon ever since. Now, it's gone through some changes underneath, some stiffening up. You just can't put this kind of torque and pressure on a car and not have to make some changes. But Barry Lynn's got quite the little, I'd say, wouldn't call it a junkyard, but he's got quite the scrapyard out there. And he's got several of those 65 two-door Chevy 2s. He's known around our area as a guy that loves that body style. And that's what he's racing here, and I would expect to see him in nothing else. What a heck of a job, Barry Lynn. He was driving that thing like he stole it. That thing got up on 2 wheels, went toward the center line. He just grabbed another gear. Car straightens out. What a pass right there for Barry Lynn. Nice job, Barry Lynn. 049 on the tree for Lynn as well. So no slouch right there. He's not sleeping around on the tree. Larry Noel coming up in H-gas trim right here, a little 6-cylinder right here in that 48 Anglia that he calls the Crazy Horse out of Aiken, South Carolina. Great story behind the name of this car. Larry Noel was our 2018 SEGA World Champion, and he ran a 56 Chevy, and he called it the Crazy Horse. Larry Noel, a horseman by trade. He works with all kind of million-dollar horses and horse farms and ranches around the Aiken, South Carolina area. And if anybody knows anything about that Aiken area, it is loaded with beautiful, high-dollar, big-money horses. And so he named his car the Crazy Horse. And so he retired that car, went to H-Gas racing this year, and decided to name it the Crazy Pony because of the lighter car, the less horsepower, the V6 instead of the V8. And I just love the name of that car. Barry Adler up next right here out of Moore, South Carolina, in the 63 split window Corvette he calls the Iron Eagle. 451 cubic inches of Chevy big block out of the Gene Fulton shop on Highway 221 in Spartanburg, South Carolina. This car was the former frequent flyer campaigned by Alan Gaulden out of Land O'Lakes, Florida. They decided to sell the car and back away from racing for a little while with the Southeast Gassers. So the car became available, and Adler bought it. So he's about to make his second pass at a Southeast Gasser event in this car. Not a bad second pass right there for Adler as he's finding out where the rev limiter is on that car to save it a little bit. But there is no light in there. There's no shift light that we allow in the Southeast Gassers to glow in your face and tell you to shift gears. You got to do it by the seat of your pants because that's what Quayne Stott, the founder, wanted. He said, I'm tired of guys just pointing and shooting an automatic down the racetrack, you know, because Pro Modified had gotten to that point where you just point and shoot. And Quayne, a world champion in Pro Modified in the past, and so he wanted to create something that put the driver back in control and rewarded someone who was a good driver. So these guys are dumping a clutch, shifting gears, holding on for dear life with a straight axle, and in some cases well over 100 miles an hour in several classes. Bryant Dalton Sr. in a super stock trim right here. That 63 Falcon Ventura of his going down the Larice Motorsports Insurance right lane. So if you're watching this on the YouTube channel or our Facebook channel, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time we go live from one of our events here on a live stream. Michael Oden, a 21-year-old out of Birmingham, Alabama, up next in the Double Down 2, the 1962 Chevy 2 wagon, MTO Motors, sponsor right there out of Birmingham, Alabama. Oden was the winner of our Gulfport, Mississippi race last year for his first ever win. His cousin and crew chief, Joey Reed, right out in front of the car, bringing him up to the line. Oden definitely not scared to drop the hammer on this thing and let it eat. Good run right there by Michael Oden, and a great job of driving as well. So Michael Oden, that car just tuned a little bit to the left. Oden switched gears, never panicked at all, and straightened the car up, got it going down the racetrack to a very good number. Greg Stelz with a quick turnaround right here after he had problems in his last run. So Stelz back in the Larice Motorsports Insurance right lane in his 1957 Pontiac. So Leah Stelz back out in front again, bringing up her husband and staying in their routine as they normally do here. Once again, trying to get some things worked out of the changes that he's made in the offseason. So getting those offseason changes moved in. Got a lot of racers out there watching. I'm going to give a shout out to Todd Rosenberry up there in Wind Gap, PA. Driver of the 2 Bumpy. As we see Greg Stelz take it down the racetrack. He gets out of it a little before the end, but Todd Rosenberry, if you hadn't ever seen that Chevy 2 that he and his son painted, that's a root beer colored car with a ton of metal flake in it. The 2 Bumpy, as we hope to see that car back out here again with us. But give a shout out to Todd. I know he's watching out there, and we look forward to having you back here soon, Todd. right, next up, Loganville, Georgia's very own Jimmy Huff in the Hoopty Coop. So yeah, Jimmy Huff got that little leak fixed where they had to abort the run a while ago. Can't say enough about Raul Torres and the facility that he has here. The Torres and family with the facility here is so well lit. Cars look great under the lights. I can't wait till tomorrow night when we get down to the finals and the stars come out. It's going to be great down here at South Georgia Motorsports Park, and we hope that you tune in with us here on YouTube and Facebook with our live stream. Get those numbers up, share, like, tell your friends about it. Tell them how to watch it. Tell them what you saw tonight. Tomorrow it's going to be cutthroat action, man versus man right here. First one to the finish line wins. There are no participation trophies in the Southeast Gassers. We don't run, buybacks and things of that nature, and it's not a bracketed format. And that light turns green. We drop in the clutch, and the first one to get to the stripe first is going to move on. All right, John McLaughlin out there on the starting line again. He's out of Columbiana, Alabama, and his wife Jody right out there learning from the best, learning from Robin Harris, teaching her how to do the backup girl duties for her husband. John worked 31 years in the natural gas industry and now living out his dream here in that 48 Anglia in B-gas trim. That's a good three-quarter track pull for John right there. It's his third pass down the racetrack ever in his life. So we're glad to see that. John keeping it straight. We'll get him out of that granny shift in here pretty soon, but he's working that thing pretty hard. Next up, Kevin Dwyer right here in the Cherry Bounce. This is a truck they've been working on for years. Beautiful truck right here, a little Dodge and front cab on it. You guys watching at home probably know the year, make, model better than I do, as he has not told me any specifics yet on this vehicle. I know he's been working on it for a while. And Dwyer been a long-time fan and supporter of the Southeast Gassers. So, yes, we're going to be live tomorrow. Got a few questions coming in. We'll be live tomorrow starting at 1 o'clock with qualifying. There'll be 2 rounds of qualifying tomorrow here at South Georgia Motorsports Park, followed by we'll move straight into pre-race ceremonies after that, and then we'll go into racing action. We'll start at 1 p.m. tomorrow with our 2 rounds of qualifying, and then it'll be on after that. Frank Jones, you had a great quote right there on our YouTube, one of our YouTube users. It says, "You can't appreciate this type racing until you see it in person." Frank, thank you for that, and you are very true. You know, we've had a lot of people tell us this is some of the best racing that they've seen in a long time because of the trueness, the period correctness of it. And, you know, it's not easy. Folks, this is not easy. If it's easy, everybody would do it. It's not easy at all. So come on out, see what these guys do. Talk to, I mean, that's the cool thing. When every ticket's a pit pass. And when you get a chance to come out here and meet the Barry Lynn's of the world, and I mean, I don't want to call everybody out, but we've got a multitude of just great guys, and it's a family. It is a great family. I'm sitting here looking at Daniel Haynes, our 2024 world champion in B-Gas. He's elected to spend more time with his family this year and not race, but here he is. He's driven 6 hours down here to South Georgia Motorsports Park because his friends want him here. He wants to be around his friends, but he's also helping. He's underneath cars helping people, and it's just a big family. And that's the way it is. And if you ever come to a Southeast Gasser event and you have a question, we will make sure we address it. So the lanes are empty right now, so anybody wanting to get a last run in, need to get up here quickly because we're going to be shutting this thing down very soon. So let Rocky Platt know, and let the track officials know by getting your butt up here in the lanes, or we're going to shut it down and go get us something good to eat here tonight before we get after it tomorrow. Lanes 1 and 2 are still open. I just want to let you know those cones are up, but they are for the 3 and 4 lanes. But 1 and 2 are still open, so I hear a couple of motors out there. If you want to get up here, you better get here quickly because we're about to shut this thing down and move on to getting ready for tomorrow. So while we're up here in the tower with a little bit of downtime, the man bringing you all the shots this weekend and controlling all the camera angles that you see here, Warren Evans, a veteran of bringing live streams to us. And Warren, this is your first ever Southeast Gasser event, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is. I've heard about it for a long time, but this is the first opportunity I've had to see it in person. And wow, I know we're just testing tuning right now, but I'm really looking forward to tomorrow.
Well, what has been one of your favorite cars that you've seen out here tonight? What really grabbed your eye?
Well, that two-door Chevelle wagon is really turns your head, no doubt about it. And of course, the Joker. I've seen a few of these cars before when I cover the Holly Hot Rod reunion up in Bowling Green. So I've seen the Joker car, and I've seen that fastback or that Aero Chevy 2, you know. But it's amazing. All of these cars are just really spectacular to watch up close.
So rating it in all your travels and all the different associations you've done, where would you rate the Southeast Gassers after just getting a small taste tonight?
Well, it's definitely way up the list. I'm really, like I say, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow, just to see how exciting it's going to be to see these guys drop the clutch on these, yank the gears, and be down there side by side at the finish line. I'm really, really excited about that.
What we're excited about, Warren, is the beautiful shots that you've been bringing to us and being able to put it out here on the live stream for our fans. And, you know, the response that I've been looking at YouTube more so than Facebook. It has been tremendous. So we thank you very much for putting that together for us and partnering with us.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. Lee Kraft, my buddy, we've been working together for, probably 4 or 5 years at this point. And I know that he is a huge fan of Southeast Gassers, and he's a part of this and asked me to come and be out here with the group. I'm I do a lot of NHRA stuff all over the country at the divisional and the national level, which it's wonderful racing in its own right, but it's very modern, it's very high tech. What we're seeing out here is so old school, really takes you back in time, and I love the fact that these cars are period correct. They've got names. You know, it's just a cool vibe, a cool feel. There's just nothing like seeing it in person. I've already figured that out. I mean, the live stream, we try our best to do it justice, but until you're sitting in those grandstands and watching these guys duke it out side by side, there's just nothing like it.
Yeah, smell the burning rubber and the racing fuel. It just does something to you, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, and a lot of modern racing that's lost that. They need to check this out, and they can learn a few things.
Well, thank you so much, Warren, for your time and for being here this weekend. And we got a few more cars going to go down the racetrack before we finish up tonight.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. And like I say, seeing it in person is that much better. So if you're in the area, you can make the drive out here. I can already tell it will be well worth your time, and you'll have a day you won't forget.
Well, thank you, Warren. Warren Evans right there, bringing us the shots here and controlling the manpower that you see out here, bringing you these shots and camera angles. And we are glad to have such a professional like him here with us this weekend. Jerry Dean, our defending world champion in our super stock category, going to be in the quick time performance lane on the left side in his car, the Last Rebel 2. He's out of Lacey Springs, Alabama. Right out front of the car right there, Karen Mitchell, his crew chief who took him to that championship last year and wrenches so well on there. Oh, yeah, she happens to be an aerospace engineer. So, you know, she knows a few things about centrifugal force and, all those things that go into the timing patterns here in the cars. So here we go with a super stock car, going to be followed up by one of the fastest cars on the property, an A-gas car of Leslie Horn. So you're going to get to see some of the extremes in the speed here coming up in these next two cars to go down the racetrack. Clicks it off a bit early right there. Doesn't want to show his hand. Jerry Dean, the wily veteran, makes a good pass right there. And there is the aforementioned 2024 world champion in the A-gas category, the kings of the sport of the Southeast Gassers. That is none other than Leslie Horn, driver of the Chick Magnet, equipped with the Gene Fulton engine underneath the hood. 477 cubic inches of raw horsepower that hails out of the Spartanburg, South Carolina barn of Gene Fulton. Right there on the trunk lid it says, "My Chick Bad," and it is bad. He is definitely one of the guys you got to beat to win an A-gas winner of 5 straight races to close out the year last year and take that world championship was Leslie Horn. Horn taking his time, getting into the pre-stage, going through his routine. Listen to the RPMs here. That right there, folks, was a hard pull to the 330. A little bit of trouble out there on that 3-4 shift. But hey, you're going to have that in a race, so he figured he would get a little race experience and take it through to the end. Briley Stott, a B-gas competitor right here in his Rambler, going to be in the quick time performance lane. So Briley Stott getting ready to go. He's made several good passes here tonight. Got to be feeling good about this 2024 season. Does Briley Stott. As he gets ready to drop the hammer over there in the quick time performance lane on the left side. So Stott into the pre-stage, gets ready to light that bulb up and go to it. A little trouble letting the clutch out right there. I don't know what happened, but he'll get it off the end of the racetrack. And we'll move on to Kenneth Phillips, who sits in the LIVESTREAM Motorsports Insurance right lane in his 58 his 58 Corvette. It's like they shut him down just for a second until Stott gets off the end of the track. A little bit of housekeeping. If you don't have a media credential, you're not going to be able to go out there with your cell phones tomorrow, guys. So just want to let you know that. You may be getting a little bit up close and too personal right now as you're past that line. So just want to let you know you're not going to be able to be out there with your cell phone tomorrow if you're not a credentialed media person. Kenneth Phillips going to take it next in the LIVESTREAM Motorsports Insurance right-hand lane, go down the racetrack. Former world champion and 17-time winner in his Southeast Gasser career is Kenneth Phillips. Phillips with that Gene Fulton power underneath the hood. 385 cubic inches of small block the last time I checked in on him. I had to check his tech card today and see what he put down for this race. A little late on the start right there was Phillips, but still takes it through to a pretty decent time. All right, Randy Kiefer back around here in the Spine Tingler, that 56 Pontiac Chieftain wagon out of Crossville, Tennessee. Runner-up last year in our Superstock category points. Moves this car to C gas this year. 406 cubic inches of Butler performance underneath the hood for him. And here comes the former B-Gas champ, Ken Rainwater, in the Renegade. 66 Chevy 2. He's going to be over in the quick time performance lane on the left-hand side. Mechanically fuel-injected motor right there under the hood for him. Comes through the water box to the watchful eye of Teddy McElwain right there. Going to be out in front of the car, bringing him back. Looks like Chase Howard sitting right there in lane number 2 in his A-gas livery, the 67 Chevelle Super Sport, the USA 1. Gene Fulton Power underneath the hood for him. His brother Trent helping him over there on that passenger side door, get ready to make that last pass here of the night. So Howard putting on that Hans device, getting everything ready to go as he's going to go down to quick time performance left lane. See if he can make some performance changes that they tried to work on over the winter time and see if it relates into a better elapsed time for him. All right, Chase Howard rolls up in that A-gas livery right there, 477 cubic inches right there of Gene Fulton power. Trying to get that one last pass in here tonight. Trent Howard going to go out and help his brother get backed up in his tracks. He's going to come to the attention of Scotty Cannon back there behind the car. Letting them know to hold up a minute. Got to find out where those tracks are, make sure he can get in them. So Cannon there in the flannel jacket. Bringing him back. 6-time Pro Modified World Champion Scotty Cannon here on the property. Helps with the tuning of that chassis of that 67 Chevelle. The USA one. It's a good rip right there by that 67 Chevelle. So that Chase Howard gets it down the racetrack. The car stayed pretty straight, so good run right there for him. So once again, tomorrow we'll get started right at 1 o'clock with 2 rounds of qualifying. Then we'll move right into our pre-race ceremonies and into eliminations after that. We'll be live right here on our YouTube channel, the Southeast Gasser YouTube channel, as well as our Facebook page. So make sure you hit that like button and be online tomorrow if you're tuning in from all those different places that we talked about. We've had people from Canada to Melbourne, Australia, to the United Kingdom, had many people click in, and out on the west coast of California and Oregon, all the way to the Northeast. So Southeast Gasser is really becoming very popular, and a great way to do that is by watching this live stream. Share it, tell your friends about it, and tell them we'll be online tomorrow. If you can't make it here in person to Adel, Georgia and South Georgia Motorsports Park, make sure you get online and watch it. Got a couple of more maybe making their way around for a couple of final passes. I don't know. I hear some rumblings. I don't know if that means they're loading their vehicles, their race cars, or if they are getting ready for a pass. right, folks, while we getting ready to wind things down, I want to thank all our championship sponsors this year. QuickTime Performance Racing Exhaust, Larice Motorsports Insurance, G-Force Racing Transmissions, Roby Myrick and his crew. Can't say enough about them. One Way Technologies out of Washington, Indiana, with some of the best horsepower and heads technology that you'll find. Don Baskin Truck Sales, Molly Motorsports, Kimco. They provide all our scooters and everything for all our personnel here. We're thankful for them. Mortgage Options of South Carolina. Give them a call for any of your mortgage needs, refinance. Ram Clutches out of Columbia, South Carolina. Pat and Mike Norsha and the Norsha family. Mickey Thompson Racing Tires and Hot Wheels to go along with the Summit Racing Equipment. We are very thankful to have all those people on board. Now make sure you go over and check out the Facebook page, the Instagram page at southeastgassers.com, as well as catch us on the World Wide Web and through YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, like, and make sure you know when we go live, as you can catch all the action from the Southeast Gassers in this and the remaining 9 races of our 2025 season.
final pair of the night here at South Georgia Motorsports Park. We do have one car beyond this pair in the water box. It is a trio of super stockers to end the night of Test and Tune of the Spring Nationals here at South Georgia Motorsports Park, presented by Harbin's Mechanical. One more car to finally stage in a grudge match scenario. Goes off. The Camaro spins. It's going to be the four-door Chevelle going down the 8th mile to win to best in the best 2 out of 3 matchup. A beautiful 56 Chevrolet, green and white super stocker to close out the night. I think that's very fitting for the Southeast Gassers Association, a car that emulates quite well what we want here at the Southeast Gassers Association, on track, on screen, for all our viewing pleasure. Again, this has been a Test and Tune night here at South Georgia Motorsports Park. It also has been a Test and Tune night for the live stream. There's been training put in by several individuals, and we've got things worked out. We're looking forward to streaming tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for qualifying and roll into eliminations. You can watch it all for free on the Southeast Gassers Association YouTube channel. Please subscribe. That's free as well. Hit the bell icon for notifications. And anytime watching, hit the like button and share the great action from SEGA. Oh, just notified one more coming in to the staging lanes. Oh, the 56 bogs off the line, grabs a gear, and is sending it down the 8th mile. That's why we're testing and tuning to get it all worked out to go into qualifying tomorrow for the Spring Nationals. In the staging lanes, a heavy hitter in the world of A-gas drag racing in the Southeast Gassers Association, Kenneth Phillips. In the Silver Streak Corvette, over the winter, it's word that he has reverted back to a combination that he knows so well and has increased the caliber of the bullet. Kenneth Phillips with a burnout beyond the Christmas tree. Lovely backup girl chasing her driver down to bring him back in the hot tracks of rubber that he just laid down here at South Georgia Motorsports Park. First time ever for Lee Craft here, a.k.a. the Monday Morning Racer, to be at South Georgia Motorsports Park in a beautiful facility here in southern Georgia. The Southeast Gassers Association is honored to fire up their 2025 championship season right here at South Georgia Motorsports Park. Kenneth, a former champion for the Southeast Gassers Association. Plenty of wins to his credit. Certainly one to keep your eye on in the championship. He launches, banging through the gears, a little wobble to mid-track, but she's straight and true for the end of Test and Tune. That was a solid hit here on Test and Tune night for the Southeast Gassers Association at South Georgia Motorsports Park. We will do this again Saturday. Race day, race day, race day, 1 p.m. Eastern. You can see it on live. You can see it on the live stream on YouTube and Facebook. You can also see it, and we would rather see you here in person. Tickets. Well, no, I'm sorry. I'm closing, and I shouldn't be, because the Double X is in the staging lanes. Looks like we're going to have a car make another hit, possibly. This is the final car. We're getting word. If you thought you can come to the staging lanes, turn back, do not come up here. Lanes are closed. The Double X is a championship-winning car. It is the car that is defending the SEGA, Southeast Gassers Association World Championship. We want to send our well wishes to Todd Oden. He had a medical emergency. The champion of this car, driving this car, is not here. We've got another driver in it, but it is certainly a capable machine, being a champion-winning car, to go out and serve yet more wins and more championships. To everyone watching on the live stream, thank you. We appreciate you tuning in, and it is our privilege to bring this stream and the stream tomorrow to you. The Spring Nationals presented by Harbin's Mechanical Services, your #1 choice for HVAC and refrigeration in the metro Atlanta area. The Double X now pulling into the water box. This is a C-Gas machine. In the Southeast Gassers Association, we have A-Gas, B-Gas, C-Gas, H-Gas, Superstock, and those early funny cars, an AFX light. Gotta love the Double X doing a burnout. Todd Oden always does a good one right there from the water box beyond the tree. That's what we like here at the Southeast Gassers Association, and I know you drag racing fans, you like that as well, and that's the show you get at SEGA. Again, this is the final call. Well, not call, excuse me, car. Yeah, don't screw this up, as they're saying in the tower. We're done. We want to go eat. Final car, the Double X, rolling to the lights to illuminate the Christmas tree for one final time here in test and tune action at South Georgia Motorsports Park. The peanut gallery is real tonight. The Double X launches, and he instantly gets out of the throttle and will coast down the notorious, famous, fast drag strip that is South Georgia Motorsports Park. Thank you for joining us tonight here at South Georgia Motorsports Park. Test and tune action for the Spring Nationals presented by Harbin's Mechanical Service. I'm Lee Kraft, a.k.a. the Monday Morning Racer, signing off. Thank you for watching the live stream. Hit the like button. Join us tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, for the beginning of action on Race Day, Race Day, Race Day. God bless, and keep the pedal to the metal.